Hello and welcome to Dawn Chorus Writes, a Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction and audiofiction. This is a special one-shot called Buttercup and Button, specially done for LadyNoir July. So I hope you enjoy it. Massive shout out to the beautiful artist who created the art for the thumbnail, called Nimidia. I think I pronounced that correctly. She's a Ukrainian artist, so massive shout out to her. Send her loads of love. All her information is linked down below. Make sure you send me loads of love by smashing that like button. Comment down below what you think of it, and I hope you subscribe so you do not miss out on other one-shots and series that are happening at the moment. And I hope you enjoy. Buttercup and Button. Marinette is 17 and is questioning her love. "Hey, cat," Ladybug mumbled, her forehead leaning against her folded arms, her knees brought up to her chest. She continued to listen to the buzz of the sleepless city. The heat of the day had given way to a cooler night, and everyone seemed to be celebrating it as they wandered through the streets below. "Hey back, Ladybug. You weren't in our usual spot for patrol. I've been worried." "Sorry, cat. I didn't mean for you to worry." She let out a sigh. "I'm having one of those kind of days, you know." "Yeah, I do know, Ladybug." Cat lowered himself down next to her, close but still keeping a gap between them. "But I thought we agreed that when we have these moments, we don't run and hide. We lean on each other and share." Ladybug nodded her head, rubbing her forehead against the fabric of her suit, a reminder that she was Ladybug and not to share Marinette's issues. "We did, but sometimes it's not that simple. We can't share everything, and trust me, I'm pretty sure you don't want to know what's going on inside my head. It's a mess in there. Even I don't know what's going on, apart from..." She paused. "Apart from what, LB?" She could feel him look at her, and not the average glance, but really looked at her, and oh, how much she wished she could edge closer so that she could lean on his shoulder. "I wonder if... am I enough?" "Yeah, of course you are, Ladybug." He gave her shoulder a friendly nudge. "No, cat, am I enough? Not just Ladybug, who is still currently failing at working out how Monarch is winning, but me. Am I enough? Because I don't think I am. No, you hold back the tears. Please don't cry. You can't. Not here. Not now. I get that part too. More than you could know. And yeah, I don't know who you are behind the mask. No, scratch that. I don't know your name behind the mask, but I know who you are. And she is more than enough." "Oh, it doesn't matter. Thanks, cat. It's just one of those days. It will pass." How does she explain without giving him more? More of her. More truth. More stress. "There you go again, LB." "What do you mean by that?" Her head popped up and found Cat had edged closer. "The moment we share, really share. I think you're letting me in, but all you do is shrug it off as if it doesn't mean anything, when it does." She could hear the pain, feel the pain. It still existed, the underlying fracture which hadn't healed quite right. Her gaze darted to his shoulder, yearning for his comforting touch, but instead she slumped back into her previous posture, pulling her legs in that much tighter in the hope that it will help to hold back the tidal wave of emotions she could spot on the horizon. "Sorry, kitty," You know I don't mean anything by it. Ladybug, he breathed before pausing, sensing the wheels turning inside his head. Does it have anything to do with the Akuma today? He said softly. She hadn't said anything and blamed her lateness on the usual excuses. How could she tell Kat that she'd been hit? Marinette had been struck by Jubilation, and suddenly images of her, Ladybug, embracing Kat, had flooded her mind, forcing her to realize the truth too late, no longer able to deny her feelings. It wasn't until Tiki had forced her transformation, something they had been practicing for such a moment, she was able to semi-function, enough to capture the Kuma, but not the Miraculous. I didn't say anything at the time, but you seemed off. Not quite yourself, but I didn't see you get hit. She had promised honesty, as much as she could give. It happened before. I got hit as me. Tiki helped. I should have told you, but there wasn't... Yeah, you should have, Ladybug. Am I your partner or not? Is it us against the world or not? The hand which landed on her shoulder was gentle, but his tone gave away the bitterness he still felt. Tell me this. What if Tiki couldn't have helped, then what? Or if you got hit again, a double helping of Jubilation, what would we do then? Sorry. Her voice was barely audible as she tried to hold it back. What is going on? Tell me, please. I am here to help, and, well, you did pinky promise. Cat! A burst of laughter sprang forth, and it felt good. Thanks, Cat. I needed that. Plus, I thought Jubilation was meant to make you happy. Show you what's in your heart? Nothing is ever that simple, Kitty Cat, and it did, and I was, until I realized it was a fool's errand, she groaned. Oh, do you ever wish you were 14 again, before all this? And when all I'm thinking about is starting the new school year, as I sit in the back of our car and the present hasn't happened? Everyone and everything which is about to happen is so far from me. Before we had met, before I became Cat Noir, my life back then was rough. It was hard and claustrophobic. Becoming Cat helped. His voice was low and a pang of guilt hit her. I'm sorry, Cat. You've hinted before, but She reached out and placed a hand at the back of his neck, just below the hairline, and slowly stroked her fingers back and forth. Sorry. I know it's different. I know that much about us. How for you becoming Ladybug was harder. The pressure and responsibility of it all. I wish I could change that for you. She felt him leaning into her touch, pressing the back of his head into her fingers. Maybe it was a cat thing. Either way, he was welcoming her gesture. I think I'm 17 now, and it's not just the Ladybug side of me, but I'm feeling so out of place. Like I've been moving and juggling too much, and lately I've been running in circles every day. As if realizing the weight of the problem, Ladybug slumped against Cat, a head too heavy to move as it landed on his shoulder. You know what I really fear? And it might sound strange compared to battling against Monarch, that I've turned off a part of me that I can't find anymore, without the mask. When the day finally comes and I have to leave Ladybug behind, who will be left? I'm sick of always questioning myself and what I'm doing wrong, because I don't have the answers for either Ladybug or as myself. She blushed at the blunder, hoping he hadn't noticed. And I have to admit it. Sometimes I wish I was somebody else. Just to feel enough for myself and that I don't need to keep. I've been fighting with who I am inside my head and I don't know me anymore. Gently, Kat's gloved hand caressed her cheek, brushing away the tears she hadn't realized she shed. It's not a reflection on you, Kat. I wouldn't have the strength to fight if I didn't have you. From day one, your belief in me has been my courage. Then, why haven't you said any of this sooner to me? Why didn't you tell me how you felt? Why didn't you come to me when I let you down? Because you didn't want to add to the burden? His hand froze as the tip of his fingers threaded through her hairline. Well, yeah, I suppose that's true, but since then, we promised each other. I know, which is part of the reason why I'm telling you this now. But it's so hard, being so vulnerable. I wish I could let it all go, you know? Take off the mask and know that it's me. Her heart was racing, her breath catching in her chest, and their lights had halos around them as her vision blurred at the edges. I wish for the same thing, my lady, but I'm sick of being scared, of being lost, of thinking, am I enough? Of not realizing my feelings sooner, of worrying what our future might look like, but mostly, if you saw who I am, that you'll realize I'm not worthy of any of it. His thumb glided across her cheek, smudging away a few rogue tears as his forefingers lifted her jaw, raising her eyes to meet his. Oh, my lady, no matter who you are behind the mask, like I said earlier, I might not know your name. I know you, but I get it. I have the same fear. If you knew who I am, I fear you wouldn't believe me. Why would I never believe? Oh, I see. She struggled, holding his piercing stare and not confessing her feelings. But do you ever wonder what our future might hold? Even when we do defeat Monarch, will life ever be the same again? What? Do you want to be a normal youth? Attend university? At 19, I'm getting too drunk and I'm falling in love with everyone just for a minute? Yeah, right. More like I'm 20, becoming overwhelmed from the stress of dealing with Monarch, and I'm running away from everything, to the point I dropped out of school and end up waking on another cold park bench, because I'm exhausted. But even if that does happen, you'll still have me next to you. Even though his words were teasing, he said it with a sweet smile that only made her return it with an added blush to her cheeks. And you have me, even if it seems I've turned off a part of me that I can't find anymore. Because I will find it for you. And when I'm sick of always questioning myself and what I'm doing wrong, she raised her eyebrows at Kat, who leaned in that much closer. You won't need to, as I will tell you what exactly you're doing wrong. He bopped her on the nose, causing her eyes to become wide. Oh, is that so? Is that where our relationship is at? At her words, Kat suddenly looked away and focused his attention on the glowing lights across the city. By relationship, you mean friendship, partnership, where we can be honest with one another? Then yes. Why did his words sting her heart? Why did she see Cat as her heart's desire this morning instead of Adrien? Why was it so hard to hear the words she had been repeating for the last 3 years, but now coming from Cat? Yes, and what? His eyes landed back on hers again. Was this the moment she ran again? Deny everything for the greater good? And I wish I was somebody else, because if I was, none of this would be an issue. There would be no mask, just me and you, just to feel enough for myself, and the constant need to find excuses of how I really feel. What are you saying, Ladybug? He breathed, studying every slight gesture in her expression. I don't know when it started. I just know I've been fighting with who I am inside my head, and I don't know me anymore. But this morning, it all became clear. It is you, Cat. You were in my head and always been in my heart. But I also know that I broke yours, and I understand if you don't feel the same way. His gloved hand cupped around hers and formed an anchor, knowing this wasn't another dream. But I thought you had made it clear that someone else was in your heart, Ladybug, and you didn't have romantic feelings towards me. So I became your friend, and I get it. I completely understand, Cat. She tried to remove her hand from his tightening grip. No, don't! Pull away from me, please. Talk to me. One of his hands landed on her shoulder, twisting her back round to face him. And say what? That I love you? But fearful that I'm not enough? That right this second, all I want to do is rid us of all the secrets and show you who I really am? Is that what you want to hear? Because it's the truth. She searched his face for signs of his feelings, but his eyes kept avoiding hers. He finally sighed. I can't believe I'm the one who's saying this, but that can't happen. Not just the reveal part, but my feelings for you. I have to be honest with you. I'm not sure anymore. She felt his body tremble underneath her touch. I will always be here for you, Ladybug, to support you, but regarding my heart, I have come to love another. No, I get it, Cat. The way I treated you, I was a fool who realized too late, torn between the former boy that I liked and you. But like you said, no matter what, I will be here for you, and whoever the girl is, she's pretty lucky to have a cat like you. I haven't told her yet of my feelings. I want to tell her as myself, without the mask. What is holding you back? A hand dropped from his neck and began to twizzle with the yo-yo. Are you sure you want to? You okay with talking about this? Cat pulled back from her, and the gap was formed once more. No, she wasn't okay. She wasn't fine. All she wanted to do was find a hole and curl up in it. But Cat, her friend, deserved more than a one-sided friendship. My love for you, Cat, goes beyond romance, but a deeper friendship. If you need advice and support, I'm here for you. Breathe, she kept telling herself. Just breathe. Well, recently I've been trying to tell her, reach out to her about my feelings, but I don't know what to say. How do you put it into words? He twisted the baton around in a circle. I find poetry doesn't work. She couldn't help smiling at the memory of her confessing to Cat about Adrien, her Buttercup. Oh, how the wheels of fortune turns. I would suggest speaking from your heart. But what if she pulls away? She has been there for me without the mask, like you are with the mask, if you know what I mean. She sees me, knows me. Can I risk it? Risk losing everything? She let out a light chuckle. It's funny, amazing really, how you keep surprising me, Cat. I thought in the matter of the heart you were bold and fearless, but this side of you, it's different. A good different. That's because with you, when I was confessing to Ladybug, it was Cat, not me without the mask. It's not so easy. It's more complicated, and like I said, she is special, and I'm not sure I can risk it. I get it. I was like that too with the person. Boy I liked. I mean, I'm a jumbling mess without this mask, and for a while I wasn't even able to speak to him. But he has become a dear friend to me. So how do you cross the line? Once I even rehearsed what I would say. She stopped herself from continuing. The only person I have for that is Plague, and unless it's about cheese, he's not the best at advice. Try me. I will listen. What was she saying? Really? Are you okay with that, LB? She nodded. Well... Button? She raised her eyebrows at him just as he laughed. Buttercup is taken. Secret joke. Plus, she is cute like one and always crafting. Her mind started buffering. Anyway, Button, you have been there for me, seen me when others didn't, gave me the confidence to speak out and gain back my freedom. Your sweet smile lights up my day. You are thoughtful and kind. How you make gifts and bring sweet treats. You are always thinking and caring for others. So I want to be the one who cares for you, to always be there for you. If you let me, I will... He stopped. Wow. She sounds great, Cat. What you said sounds perfect. She forced out a smile. Oh, what she wouldn't give to hear those words. Yeah, he sighed. She gave me a gift once. I carry it everywhere I go. It's my own personal lucky charm. Why was it she thought of Adrian in that moment? Was it ego? Wishful thinking that Button reminded her of... No, it couldn't be. Why would he, Cat, be interested in... How could it even be possible without the mask? Would flowers be too much? What? Oh, flowers. No, I wouldn't expect anything else from you, Kitty. She smiled, knowing it wasn't reflected in her eyes. It's getting late. Patrol tomorrow? Cat nodded with his own forced smile. Best of luck, Kitty. Let me know how you get on. Ladybug stood to her feet and whipped out a yo-yo. Thanks, my lady. See you tomorrow. She didn't look back. She couldn't. This was her fault. Marinette struggled to sleep. Cat's words, images from Jubilation. She had revealed her heart in vain and ended up helping Cat confess his love for another. Button? Really? His take on Buttercup? Why had he done that? Why would he refer to Marinette's confession? Hearing him talk about another girl like that had been one of the hardest things she had gone through. But she had promised to be there for him, and as long as he was happy, that's all that mattered. Even if this other person sounded amazing, how he viewed her, If only. No. She had her chance, and the way she had treated him, she was grateful he was still standing by her side. Yeah. But then again, some of the words he had kept using jarred in her mind.
Marinette, you need to sleep. It will all become clearer in the morning,
Tiki said, rubbing her eyes half asleep. Tiki, you know I love you and how much I miss all the Kramis, but sometimes this is all too much. And I wish I was somebody else, just to feel enough. My brain is fogged with countless scenarios. Adrien, Monarch, Cat, what to do, and tonight didn't help the matter. It's like I can almost see the picture, but it's not quite lining up.
It's 1 a.m., Marinette. Nothing makes sense at this hour. Get some sleep, and fingers crossed, a new day, a new perspective will be shed on the problem.
Tiki gave her cheek a little cuddle before zipping off to her small nook on the shelf above the bed. You're right, Tiki. At least I will always have you, and thank you. It's time to put this day to bed. Her head ached from too much thinking. Placing in her earbuds, Marinette clicked on some soothing, chilled piano music and imagined she was leaning against Cat's shoulder with his arm wrapped around her. By the time a new day broke and the morning sun shone down on her bed, filtering through into her dreams, the image had shifted to a strange setup of Cat sitting at Adrien's piano with a smile on his face, beckoning her to join him on the piano stool as his fingers danced across the keys to a gentle melody, and noticed an arrangement of buttercups sitting on top of the grand piano. A knock on the trapdoor came as a welcoming release. Morning, my darling. You might want to get dressed. You have a visitor. Maman? Who? Alia? Just tell her to come up. Marinette rubbed her eyes, removing the image of the dream glued inside her mind. No, not Alia. It's Adrien, Sabrine said in a loud whisper, telling her he wasn't waiting for her in the bakery, but in fact standing in their apartment. Adrien? She scrambled out of her covers towards the loft steps, missing the first step. What? She tried steadying her breath. What was happening? He is here. Marinette watched her mum gesture towards the floor and the room below. I'll be 5 minutes. Marinette stumbled on the last step and landed with a thud. Take your time. I gave him a cup of tea and Tom has given him a plate of fresh treats, Sabrine said in a hushed tone whilst raising and lowering her hand, telling her daughter to breathe. I need to help your father in the shop, but if you need me, let me know. Marinette nodded her head like one of those wobbly head figures while spinning around on the spot. What did she need? Oh, clothes. What to wear? In the background, she could hear a slight laughter and the sound of the hat shutting. She had 5 minutes to make herself presentable for Adrien. But why was he here? On a Sunday? It was Sunday, wasn't it? Did they have a project she had forgotten about? Possibly, or had they all arranged, Alia and Nina included, to meet up? She narrowed her eyes as she peered around the room, lost in the muddle of thoughts.
Marinette, focus! Adrien is waiting for you.
Tiki, why is he here? Did I forget something? I mean, I have been all over the place, but still, why would I forget that Adrien was coming round?
Maybe it's a last-minute idea on his side. Inspired by something or someone?
Tiki's giggle snapped Marinette out of her haze. Tiki, is there something you want to tell me?
Yes, get dressed.
A gleeful grin took over the little red creature. Marinette huffed in front of the wardrobe. It seemed like there was only one way she was going to get any answers today. She picked out a light pink summer dress and a cream cardigan and her usual pumps for comfort. She felt the heat of the day already building, so she threw up her hair into a messy bun and tied it with a ribbon. After a light layer of makeup, she was ready. Taking a steady breath, she opened the trap door and saw the back of Adrienne's golden blonde hair shine back at her. "Morning." Her eyes scanned the room, but her maman had already left. "Adrienne, what?" He slowly turned round. She noticed his rosy cheeks at first, but his gaze was fixed on his hands, which were holding pink roses and buttercups. "Morning, Marinette. Sorry for coming here unannounced." "Buttercups?" was the only word she could form. Why? Why buttercups? Why would Adrienne... Does he know? "Oh, yeah, here you go, Marinette." He held the bouquet out in front of him, but her hands just hovered in the air, unable to grasp onto them. "Buttercups?" Her eyes darted from the flowers to his gaze and noticed a hopeful tenderness, pleading for her to take them, to accept them. "Yeah, buttercups. They aren't as grand against the roses, but I've always loved these flowers." He closed the gap between them and rested the bouquet in her hands, clasping his around hers. "I find them cute as a button, just like you, Marinette." Button? Did he say she was a button? "I was wondering if you fancied taking a walk with me. There is something I would like to say." Button? Buttercup? Button? 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 No, it can't be. It can't be. Can he? Button? I mean, yeah. He slid a hand from hers to ruffle the back of his neck. "Yeah, Button. My nickname for you. I hope you don't mind. It's just you are cute like a button and always crafting." Her eyes locked onto his, searching for a sign of the truth. Could it be? You call me Button? She smiled at the rosy colour washing over his cheeks. "I'm Button." His eyes widened. She plucked out a single buttercup and presented it in front of him. "I like it, Buttercup." Her eyes and breathing stopped. Was this really happening? Not only was they revealing themselves, but he was one and the same? The soft waxy petals from the tiny yellow flower brushed against her cheeks as his hand cupped her jaw, never once removing his eyes from hers. "I'm your Buttercup, and you are my Button." "It's you? It's you." She could taste the salty tears on her lips as she rolled them into a smile. "You really are as cute as a button, my lady." He chuckled, shaking his head slightly as he leant his forehead against hers. "How about that walk? I think we have some things to talk about." She nodded her head against his. "But first, can I kiss you?" he breathed onto her lips. Marinette closed her eyes to the image of Adrian shifting into cat. How had she not seen it before? Then she remembered last night's words. How she wouldn't believe he was the person behind the mask. How he had turned down Ladybug for Marinette. How he had described his feelings towards her. Do you still mean what you said last night? She fluttered her eyes open. He paused. His lips skimmed over hers. Yes, it seems like it's always been you. My Button, but also my lady. Last night was hard. Hearing your own confession. Wait, do you? She kissed him softly with tear-soaked lips. Yes, with all my heart. I'm no longer torn. I'm whole. You make me whole. I'm no longer fighting inside my head and doubting if I'm enough. Not when I have my Buttercup and my kitty beside me. She closed her eyes to his kiss and felt a wash of relief, of love, of letting go and allowing herself to be in this moment. She didn't know what tomorrow might bring, but she knew she wouldn't be alone. Not anymore. Buttercup and Button. Lady and her kitty. Together. In love. United. Against the world. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. This one shot, Buttercup and Button. If you did, make sure you smash that like button. It really does help to support the channel and sends me some love. Make sure you comment down below what you thought of it and if you needed any tissues, and make sure you subscribe so you do not miss out on future one-shots and series and other treats that are coming your way. And I hope you are good, not too much emotional roller coaster, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.